Republican Senator Marco Rubio of Florida was inside the House chamber last night for the president's speech, and he joins us now from Capitol Hill. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning. Good morning.
Let's start, if we can, with the president's comments on immigration. Mr. Trump said that he saw the possibility of immigration reform as long as American jobs and security come first. You've been part of a bipartisan effort for immigration reform in the past that did not work out. Do you think this could be successful at this time now?
I do. It's not going to be easy, but I believe that. And by the way, that's what our immigration law should always be about. Obviously, number one is ensuring the people that are entering the United States, whether permanently or as visitors, are people that are not going to harm us. And second, that ensures that it's good for our country and our economy. I think how you do it is going to be the difficult part. And what I've encouraged the president and others is to view this as a multi-step process. It begins with enforcing our laws so that we can win the confidence of the American people. The second step would be to modernize our system, make it, less bureaucratic and more merit-based. And the third is to deal reasonably but responsibly with people that are here, that have been here a long time, who are not criminals, who are in violation of our immigration laws, but who we should try to accommodate for both humanitarian and economic purposes. I believe if we follow those steps and in that order, we can achieve a result that's good for the country.
The president made it clear that he intends to repeal and replace Obamacare. In your state of Florida, you have the largest number of residents on Obamacare in the country. Do his views reflect your own about the changes he intends to make?
Well, I absolutely believe Obamacare needs to be repealed because a lot of those people that are on Obamacare, and I'm meeting with hospitals today about this, are truly uninsured. Even though they have an Obamacare coverage, their their deductibles are so high, that in essence for them, they'd have to spend money they don't have before they can even begin to use the plan. Now, that doesn't mean you throw those people out in the street. It doesn't mean we go back to the system we had before 2010. I don't want to go back to that either. I want to replace it with a system that for the vast majority of Americans means they're going to be able to access private health insurance that's more affordable and covers the things they want in a vibrant private marketplace.
Did you like what the president had to say last night, Senator, about that?
Well, he outlined broad principles. I think the detail, and I think there's a great agreement over those principles. I think the difficult work is laying out exactly how we achieve that away from the system. But certainly the principles that we don't want to disrupt people that are on it now, that we certainly don't want to go back to the old system because that wasn't working either. Yes, I agree with those principles, and they are what are guiding us. And it's what I've been talking about since 2014. I've had a plan to replace Obamacare, and I'll work hard to make sure as many of those elements are part of our law as possible.
Senator, we spoke with your colleague, Senator Chuck Schumer, earlier this morning, and he said that President Trump's words and actions have not been consistent, that he has done nothing to actually foster unity among opposing parties. Is that true?
Well, I think that is in the eye of the beholder. There's no doubt this president has an unorthodox style, and there's no doubt that he enters our politics as president at a time of extraordinary division. I would say that would be true on both sides. If you saw last night, there was a moment after this president spoke where a significant number of the members just got up and walked out before he had even finished the speech, or just as he barely finished it. I don't do that stuff. Other people will have to speak for themselves. There's something the president's done that people think is divisive. They'll have to ask him about it. I will tell you this. I do believe that for the good of the country, we need to give him a chance to be successful. And if we disagree with him, we'll take on those issues. But I thought last night was a very presidential speech. I thought last night was the best speech I've seen him give, and I've been watching him now pretty closely for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any doubt about that. And he did a very good job last night, and that was a promising sign.
Senator, the president again called for a $1 trillion spending program on infrastructure. At the same time, he called for significant tax cuts for businesses. Are there the votes in Congress for an infrastructure spending program?
Well, it depends. So if the $1 trillion are all taxpayer money, then I think that's going to be very difficult for the reasons we've outlined. However, as he discussed last night, and I think a lot of people missed this point, he talked about a public-private partnership. And if they're talking about leveraging private funds as a significant portion of that $1 trillion over a 10 or 5-year period, I think that is very doable within the context of it, but of everything else. But it's going to require us to allow the federal government to, with its limited resources, to focus on the things the federal government is in charge of doing. And that is the national security of our country, the interstate infrastructure that's necessary for our nation, and a safety net that helps people who are falling on hard times to stand up and try again. And that's what we'll have to work hard to ensure that we can get back to. And I believe, the president didn't talk about this, but I believe that eventually we will have to deal sooner rather than later with reforms to save Social Security and Medicare.
Well, Congress has its marching orders. Senator Marco Rubio, thanks for your time.
Thank you.